They mask biomechanical deficits is a really nice kind of piece of collective research that was done out in Aspetar from Rula Kotsifaki. And that shouldn't be a surprise, actually, based off what we've just said, right? We've just talked about when an athlete's tired, I just manipulate my strategy to achieve the same outcome, or actually do even better, assuming that, at this point we don't actually have any information about how the baseline testing was conducted. So an athlete can change their strategy, just jump just as far, just as high, produce just as much power, but actually they still might be exhibiting like truckloads of knee valgus or something like that. And that's not what we want, and that's no good either, right? Equally, it also stands to reason that outcome measures like this would not have any link whatsoever with whether an athlete gets injured. But also, if I can cheat a test, achieve the same outcome, and that can't be detected by the outcome measure like power or distance or height, if I'm using that as a criteria, is telling me, yeah, they've recovered, good to go. But of course, the biomechanical deficits are telling a completely different story. So it obviously stands to reason that an outcome measure can't tell you much about injury. And then I've just put up there, remembering that on that injury rehab bullet point slide, that those outcome measures like distance and power and jump height and jump distance, they can't tell you anything about why an athlete, has got injured. There's no link there whatsoever. That doesn't really help us from an injury standpoint, but actually monitoring limb differences does. And we also know from that research coming out of Aspetar that it's not the outcome measures and measuring asymmetry of those that's useful. It's asymmetry of more strategy-based data that we spoke about. So actually that's where maybe monitoring interlimb differences for things like contact time and stiffness are probably going to give you more value than trying to look at asymmetry in RSI or jump height, which of course isn't even possible from a bilateral task.